Hello. Hello. My name is Brittany and I read books occasionally. It's been kind of sporadic over the past couple of weeks and I feel as though why not do like a chill video just taking you throughout the rest of my evening of specifically catered towards reading. Obviously you'll see other stuff because I'm a human and I have a life where I have to do other things, but for the most part just going throughout the rest of my evening and reading. So there are some books, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, where I really want to be more considerate and be more intentional about reading the books I have not read that are already on the shelf, because there's no more space really on the shelf, and if I buy any more books they're going to eventually like have to be stacked on the floor, which is not necessarily the look that I want right now. One of the books I do want to start, I don't know, is Girls Burn Brighter. Just like a little tidbit about myself, if you're new to this channel, I am what I would classify like as a slower reader. Like I'm not reading 23 books in a month. We're not there. And I guess like the last couple of weeks, like books have been weird. So I'm going to be showing up on this channel, and typically I show up, I haven't ever said this, but I show up every single Friday is my plan, is my intention for this channel as well. And I'm just going to show up and film whatever I want to do. Metrics for the past little while have been looking weird and non-consistent, so I'm going to be consistent and I'm going to show up. So that was my whole spiel. And there's a couple of books in here that I haven't read previously that I want to read, but I'm also knowing that I need to find some other books to read. So I have some ideas regarding that, but today my intention is to go to the library and possibly pick up some more books that I'm interested in reading. But starting with this book, I bought this book a couple while ago. So that's this book. So I want to try and get like at least a pretty decent chunk of this book, get through this book, and then see what other books I can find. But I just wanted to preface this video with that, and let's start. This has nothing to do with reading. I've realized, somebody's gonna be seeing me talk to myself. That's awkward. But you know, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I made it to the library, and I've decided that this video is gonna be very much so informal, and like I mentioned before, I'm gonna go in there and like just see what books I can find and stuff, I guess, is the plan. I've also been thinking, I was driving over here and I was thinking specifically just about the channel in general and like the direction that I want to take with it. And like I know that I talk about book content, but like I feel as though there's such a array of, if you're talking about people who make content and people who make content specifically about books, there's such an array of creators. And as a person who wants to like make that sort of content, I really want to be intentional about being creative in that, and not just like creative, but like creative in like how I want to be creative and making content that I enjoy essentially. So I've been thinking about like what I wanted to do. Not that I haven't been doing that thus far, but I know that there's just so much more creative things I can come up with if I give myself like the time and space to do so. And so I just want to like really be like super creative in this platform and create things that I enjoy if nobody else enjoys them, essentially. So I've been thinking about that and like what does that look like, because making content about books is so vague. Like it's so vague and there's so much nuances to it of things that you can talk about. So I was just thinking about like what do I want to showcase, what do I want to present, how do I want to show up on this platform, and how do I want to show up consistently on this platform. and like my own way. Like obviously I know that there's trends, I know that there's certain things that, like, people do that are trendy. Not that I dislike it, but it's also like people are already doing that, and I know if I really put my mind to it and just think a little bit more, if I just think a little bit more tentatively, I know that I can come up with something that is very, like, doesn't necessarily have to be revolutionary, but something more. We are going to not decrease the expectation, because the expectation is the expectation. The standard is the standard, but we're gonna go about it a little differently, and I'm learning. I know I talked to you guys previously. No, I think I already mentioned this. I think I already mentioned that, like, I was trying to read the books I haven't read that are already on my bookshelf, but scratch that. We're gonna get some books today, and I don't know, vibe. We're gonna read today. Like, the goal is to read. I don't necessarily have a page requirement of how much I want to read today, but I want to read. Like, I need to read. Also, it was just raining. When I say raining, I mean like storming. Like, and now the sun's about to come out. I don't have time. Let's go. I find it a little crazy that it's been raining and now the sun wants to come out. Okay, we're gonna do what we normally do. Go somewhere else. Okay. The sun's glare is just a little bit better over here. Went to the library, and so, okay, I don't know how long, I guess I was in there for like an hour. Lost track of time. My plan, because I was just like, I didn't have any books I was technically like going in there to actually see. So my plan was to literally go down every single aisle, look at the spine of the book, whichever book like looked interesting to me, then I would read it. And that's kind of how I went, and like figured out if I wanted to pick it up. And then at first what I was doing was I wasn't picking up any books. Like, even if I liked it, I would put it back and just like keep it in mind, because like if it would come up again, then I would go back and pick it up. But what I googled is saw that you could take out 50 different books at once. I could take out 50 books. That was crazy. And I said, okay, I think they give you, at least my library gives you 3 weeks, I think. So let me talk about the books that I picked up in kind of order. The first book that I saw that I liked, but that I walked past and then I went back and got, was Good Girl. This book is about a girl who is in Berlin. She's an artist. She's in like the underground. She's a disappointment to her family, and yeah, she's kind of basically it's about Neela. She's spiraling, and then she has like this kind of like aha moment, I guess, where she's just like, what do I want to be? Like, who do I want to be? That's the first book that I picked up. The second book that I picked up is Joyride. This book is about Carly. So Carly's parents were deported. And then we have Arden. Arden is a star quarterback, but he's on this like rebellious streak. Carly is very much like, I want to be a fly on the wall. Like I want to be like under the radar. I just want to like do what I'm supposed to do, not getting the attention. And Arden is very much like, I want to be rebellious. I want to do the opposite of what I want our parents to do. And so their paths cross, and it says Carly and Arden's journey towards the true hearts and one another is funny, romantic, and sometimes harsh, just like real life. And the back of the book is the reason why I really picked up this book. I'm not gonna lie to you, I picked it up for like one quote. Is that crazy? Maybe. And it says, I need to be a girl who is nobody, who doesn't warrant even a shadow of second thought. But I'm not that girl anymore, and I can never be her again. Thanks to Arden Moss. And I was just like, ah. Yeah. The woman urge to be palatable. Girl, crazy. The next book that I picked up was The Viagra Diaries. It's giving. Okay, so I haven't read the book. I don't know what the book's about, but this is what the book is giving. The book is giving, what is the main character from Sex and the City? Carrie? Yeah, Carrie Bradshaw. It's giving Carrie Bradshaw, but like later in life type of energy. So we are following Annie. I don't really like the name, but it's fine. Annie is like just starting to get back into the dating realm, but she has a job at the San Francisco Times where she is like a lifestyle column. And I think one of the parts, like this new column that she's trying to do, is about like sex and relationships. So she's trying to date. She left her husband after she found out that he was using Viagra, but it wasn't with her. And so now she's kind of like fumbling. Like she's an older woman who is getting back into like the dating realm and just like having experiences and just like getting out there. And I was just like, that sounds like fun. I want to read that. And then the last book that I looked up, I guess kind of like all of them have kind of, I was thinking that all of these were kind of like romance, but they're kind of not. But the last one was A Sweet Filthy Boy. I read a book that was kind of like it's kind of, I guess like a trope, like one night stand to lovers. What book was that? That was on a limb. Anyway, that book, I have a whole video about that book. But anyway, this book is about Mia. She has this fling, cute, fun night with this Frenchman named Ansel. And then she decides, you know what? I don't want my life to be boring. I'm going to follow him back to France for the summer. And we're just gonna kiki and chill. And then that kiki and chill becomes something serious. That is basically what this book is about. And so I got 4 books. When I saw that, ooh, hold on. I'm trying to collect the books. Okay. When I saw that you could pick up 50 books, and like I was thinking that they were like, oh yeah, you can check out like 5 at a time, but they're just like, no, you can check out 50 books. I don't know if that's standard, but that is shocking to me, because I'm just like, you letting strangers take your books home without the foreknowledge that they'll bring it back? That's crazy. But 4 books is a little bit audacious, not gonna lie. But I think what I want to do is, even though I showed you the book, the Girls Burn Brighter book, I'm gonna save that book maybe for like a trip, maybe for if I have to go out of town, because I don't care if I ruin that book. And then we're going to focus on trying to get through these 4 books. That's the plan. I don't know which book I want to start with. I kind of want to start with Good Girl a little bit. So yeah, that was the library. I'm gonna go. We have to go. I was thinking that we're done. We're not done. We have the rest of the evening. We have to go and buy cilantro. Yeah, so there's gonna be things that are not book related in this video, so come along, we got to go. I'm ready to start reading now. This is the part where I'm actually gonna start reading. I've came home, had food, cleaned up, and I'm going to sit down and read is the plan, is the goal, is the objective. I'm going to start. Okay, I want to set a timer, but I wouldn't do that. Well, okay. Oh, I do have water. I'm gonna like get water or fill up my water. I'm gonna put on like comfier clothes and then put on comfier clothes, and then I want to set a timer and like read and like just see like how long it'll take me to like read for like an hour and see where that gets me and how many pages I can get to, and then I can like check back in, talk, we can discuss X, Y, and Z, and then go from there. Does that sound fun? I don't know. Let's go do that. We gotta move just a little bit because I couldn't see. And we turned on the light. And we got snacks. I went to the store the other day and I got like a whole bunch of these peelers. And it's just like, you just like peel them. We're about like one chapter in. We are at 30 minutes. I was falling asleep. And I don't think it's the book's fault. I think it's just like I'm just tired. I don't think it's the book's fault. So, yeah. I want to talk about this book ever so quickly. I'm not going to ruin it, but I am going to tell you everything that I've read thus far. If you want to skip this part, I'll put like a timestamp somewhere. Probably right here. Of where to skip to. But let me tell you about what I've read this far in the book. We are following the main character, Neela, and we're kind of see her spiraling. We're seeing her spiraling in her decisions, like she's coming home and she's 18 years old. She's about to turn 19 like in a week or so, according to her. And we are seeing her like come home and she smells like cigarette smoke and she's been out all night, and her father is giving her this very disapproving look, and her grandmother has like this frown because they're disapproving of her actions, even though she is continuously doing like not the best actions in their eyes. She goes to work one day, and then right after she works at a cafe. Right after she leaves the cafe, she goes to this club. The club is called The Bunker. That is the name that she has given this establishment. That's not its actual name, but the name Bunker is kind of like a euphemism of what this place is to her. So it is this secluded area that is away from her responsibilities of like her real life. She goes into this establishment. Well, before she goes into this establishment, she's in the line, and the people in front of her, there's these two men, and they give her drugs. There's a lot of drugs that she takes. I will not be naming all of them because I can't keep track. You know what I mean? But let's just say every single time I say that she took drugs, just assume it's a new drug. Just assume it's a new drug. So she takes one drug because they're just like, oh yeah, we'll give you this Nike check looking pill drug for €6. So she takes drugs when she's on her way into the club. She gets into the club and she is kind of just meeting random people. She takes another drug, like the most like classic party drug, in the bathroom, and she is eventually at this bar where she is trying to kind of act stern and like distant, not trying to get anybody's attention. And this man named Marlo walks up. And they start having this conversation. Marlo is a well-known writer. He wrote this book called The Ceremony. He is from America, and he's like well established. She knows of him, and they start like having conversations. Anyway, they're having this conversation. long story short, moving on, they go to the bathroom. They do more drugs in the bathroom, right? So Neela's at this club, and she's not at this club just absentmindedly, but her friend, one of her friends, I believe her friend was Anna, she showed up on Paige really quickly, was supposed to meet her at this club. And so Neela goes out into the club and she's waiting for her friend. Her friend shows up and she's talking to her, and then randomly in the middle of her engaging and having a conversation with her friend Anna, Marlo, he takes another different drug, and like puts it in Neela's mouth. Immediately after she's taken this drug, she starts hearing ringing, and Marlo's just like, oh yeah, we have to leave. So she just like leaves the club without her friend, with a random stranger. They eventually show up and go to his house. They're at his house and they're talking about music and just random stuff, random things. And there's this time where she's expecting that they are going to like have intercourse. And he asked her like, how old are you? And she's just like, oh yeah, I'm 19. Well, she says I'm 18. I turned 19 in a week. And he's just like, are you lying? She's like, do you want to see my ID? X, Y, and Z. He's just like, basically no, but I need you to know that I'm 36. And I was just like, immediately, no. Long story short, they do not have intercourse. And so they then start talking about Marlo's like childhood, and that his mother and his father passed away, and so she kind of sees this in her mind as like this bonding moment because her mother has passed away, and it's kind of like this one-sided trauma bond kind of thing. And so they're having this conversation. They eventually, because Neela makes a point that she wants to be an artist and that she's like really big in photography because she sees this camera on like one of his bookshelves or something, and he's basically telling her that, you know, my mother did photography as a hobby. And he starts taking they start taking pictures of each other. After that, they are in his room looking outside because they're in Berlin and it has snowed. And this is what he says, and I feel as though this like little clip really shows you how much I already don't like him. But like, here we go. He's looking at the snow, and he is having writer's block, obviously, because he wrote The Ceremony and he got an advance to write another book, but he hasn't written anything. So he says, I wish I could write about this. He said, nothing is as perfect as snow. You could still write about it. Oh, Bunny, he touched my hair. You say this because the world hasn't broken you yet, but it will, trust me. Sure thing, I laughed. But look at its whiteness, he said with a strange urgency in his voice. One could do anything to it. It's so defenseless. Of course, I didn't know what he meant back then. And it's just like, what in the world is wrong with you? It's wrong with you. Anyway, so that is the first 2 chapters of Good Girl, and that is all I have to say in today's video. I know today's video is probably like shorter, I think, maybe possibly, I don't know. I'm just here, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and guess what? I'll see you next time.